Welcome back to Build Boldly. I'm your host, Pat Rodgers, and for the month of January, we're rolling out our top tips for 26. As we roll through our list, each episode will build on the last. Whether you're a new entrepreneur or a seasoned vet, we hope these ideas and tactics can support you in setting yourself up for success. Our first top 5 is focused on strategy and operations. Strategy and ops should set the foundation for your annual plan. There's a phrase that I think about regularly. Hope is not a strategy. It's a statement that grounds us in reality. It's a statement not just for leaders, but for your entire team. From sales to operations, we need a defined path to remove roadblocks, achieve milestones, and keep our eye on the ultimate destination. The best way to frame this is that strategy sets the plan, and operations is the execution of your plan. Achieving success requires clear and direct execution. Without operations, there is no execution. Without further ado, let's dive into our top 5 tips on strategy and operations. Number 1, do a 360 review of your 2025. For our Spotify listeners, think of this as your business wrap for the year. It's easy to think about the wins and achievements. It's a lot harder to truly dive in on what didn't go well. When we do a full 360 review, we have to look at both the good and the bad. Most importantly, we need to dissect the good at a more granular level. For example, we may have hit our revenue targets for the year, but if we dive in further, could we have achieved more with better processes? Could we have better margins if we adjusted an input here or there? Every aspect should be reviewed in order to truly understand where you can improve and where you can double down. There are tons of frameworks you can use and easily find on the internet. One of the simplest is a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You can use this framework on every aspect of your business, but you should start at a holistic level and then drill down further. The primary reason for the holistic review is that every aspect of your business is interconnected in some way. If we only focus on one function or role, we may miss the key disconnect between two core functions of your business that is truly the underlying cause. Click down deep and identify the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now let's talk about number 2. Identify the roadblocks and challenges from 2025. Now that you've done your 360, what did you identify? What held you back? What are the roadblocks and challenges that you need to remove or fix to get to the next level? One of the hardest things for an entrepreneur and business owner to do is let go. We have to constantly look ourselves in the mirror and ask the hard question: am I holding us back? What responsibilities are you performing today that you can let go of? What bottlenecks have you created through too much oversight or micromanagement? Letting go is hard, really hard, but is also critical to scaling and growing your business. What areas need investment? On the people side, this may be hiring more staff, replacing existing staff, or upskilling high potential employees. On the operations side, it may be new systems or processes that unlock growth and increase margin. On the sales and marketing front, it may be reviewing your product or service and cutting things that don't work. There are so many tweaks and changes we can make. This review is to identify the highest value changes, the ones that truly move the needle. Now let's talk number 3. Identify your North Star goal. You can call this anything you want: core focus, rallying cry, North Star goal, whatever makes sense to your business. The critical component for this exercise is that it requires focus. It is the primary objective that every member of your team can not only rally behind, but also understand. Take what you've learned from the 360 review and drill down to what makes 2026 successful. The last point I'll make is that if everything is important, nothing is important. Less is more. Write a list and then whittle that down until you get to the heart of what you need to achieve in the next 12 months. Keep it focused and clear, and you'll see success. Number 4, set monthly and quarterly goals. Now that we have our North Star goal, let's break that down into monthly and quarterly goals or milestones that get us to the finish line. Work backwards and begin to identify by function, department, and person what needs to be achieved. A very common framework for goal setting is SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. There are a number of other frameworks, but I love how simple and direct these are. If you're missing any one of these elements in your goal setting, they aren't real goals. This takes time and effort, but will ensure you can clearly measure your progress. Last but not least, number 5, get buy-in from your people. This is the most critical step of the process. If your people aren't bought in, nothing else matters. Share every aspect of what you've discussed or what we've discussed today with your team. The most important thing employees and partners look for is the why. Giving them the why and how you got there builds buy-in. One strategy that has worked for me above all else is to include them in the other tips I outlined in this episode. When you include employees in the process and give them ownership of projects or tasks, you build an incredible amount of trust and buy-in. Not to mention, the boots on the ground have far more knowledge of the day-to-day roadblocks and challenges they experience than you ever will. Include your team, celebrate the wins, build trust, give them the why, and see what you can accomplish together. I hope these strategies are things you are already doing or plan to do. Getting this right builds on every aspect of your business. I cannot stress this enough. If you only take away one thing from this episode, it should be gaining buy-in from your team. If you figure this out, everything else will fall into place. When people understand the why, know what their goals are, and how they'll be measured, as well as feel a part of the bigger vision, i.e., your North Star, incredible things will happen. Next week, we're diving into finance and accounting. These are the cornerstones of your business, and without them, everything else falls apart. Stay tuned, give us a like or share if you found this helpful, and as always, build boldly.